Your, your nature.
My nature.
What is your nature?
It used to be confusion, frustration, anger, just a lot of the negative things that you talk about.
Yeah.
Now, I'm working on the state of letting go, and that's just the everyday deal with me. I still get frustrated a little bit.
Right.
And that's just because honestly, I don't know. I guess I know too much in the sense of seeing what's going on. But again, like I said, I'm just going to the state of just letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you say you know too much from seeing what's going on, what do you mean by that?
Just seeing how other people operate, seeing how I used to operate in a sense, and just seeing it through other people. I guess that's what frustrates me a lot, in a sense.
Right. As you're waking up, you're going to see how wicked the human heart is. You have not seen it yet. I've been seeing it lately, and I'm like, I didn't know human beings can be so evil. I watched this movie called, what's that movie I watched? The Chosen. The Chosen. And Jesus said to his disciple, the hardest part of my job is to change human heart. Mm-hmm. Human heart is pure evil. And as you're waking up, you're right, you're going to see it in yourself, but seeing it and not getting angry will cause you to overcome it. But you're going to see it all around you in ways that you've never seen it before. Yeah. But don't get frustrated by it. They can't help it. They can't see.
Yeah, I think I get more frustrated when I'm, in a sense, looking at my family, because I expect more in us, I guess.
I know what you mean.
But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the family are the worst in every family.
They absolutely are.
I went to, I was invited to go to a place here in LA yesterday evening to talk to a family, husband, wife, and a couple of kids. And when I walked in their house, it was amazing. It was so beautiful. It was like built really well, and real expensive. But by the time we finished our discussion, they all hated one another. They were miserable. It was like they didn't know they lived in a beautiful home. It did nothing for them. And they had, outwardly, they had everything, nice cars and everything. And when I was driving up the driveway, I'm like, oh, this is so nice. I'm going to talk to some nice people. And they thought that, and this is from their mouth, they thought if they got educated, if they became educated, if they had a big fine home, if they had a few kids, if they lived in a nice neighborhood, if they were well known, that they were going to be happy. But it didn't do anything for their nature at all. Nothing changed inside. And they thought that it would.
It's interesting to see how the material stuff actually just doesn't matter.
That's
nowadays.
right.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and I used to be attached to a lot of it. You know, make sure that the job is okay, this is okay, all this is okay. But all that, the money doesn't matter.
That's right.
The cars don't matter.
It ain't going to do nothing for you. You can have degrees until the cows come home. You just have degrees hanging on the wall, and you'll be miserable. Isn't that a mess? How deceived are we, huh? That we think that's going to work. But they were, hopefully now, because by the end of the meeting yesterday, they all tend to calm down a little bit, and their focus is now on themselves and not each other. They said they're not going to blame each other anymore, and they know now that no one can make you happy. No one, so they're going to stop trying to get happiness from each other and just work on themselves. So we'll see what happens. But that's not the first time. I went to Washington, D.C. and counseled with some people that work in the government. Same problem. And if I'm not going to say their name, but if I did, you would know who I'm talking about. You see them in the media all the time. They got the same problem you have, I had, everybody have, until they overcome. It's spiritual, and nothing's going to change it. Nobody else being mad at other people is not going to change it. Nobody have love to give to no one. Amazing, huh? So are you doing the silent prayer and all that?
I do not.
Suffer? suffer and die.
I know, Jesse. I don't know. I got to get better at it because it does help.
Yeah.
I was doing it before I left LA and moved back to Texas. I was doing it religiously, in a sense, and just I can feel the calmness
Yeah.
that came with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, everything was just kind of in a daze because nothing was real. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you let the devil talk you out of it.
I guess you can say that.
So and I just want other people to hear, because I know people I personally know people who started on the silent prayer. That's why I tell people, if you're not ready for it, don't do it. Yeah. I personally know people who started and they stopped and they could not get back to it.
True.
And they died in their misery. It is not something you should play with. And it's not something you should take all seriously either, But you either commit to the light or you stay in the darkness. Right? So when you first wake up, the devil tell you what?
I started thinking about my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the devil tell you. You know what? Think about your business. You got to do this today at work. You got to do that.
Yeah.
Hurry up and get there.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, Daddy.
It sounds so bad.
You're worshiping the devil when you give in to him like that. You really are worshiping him. And he doesn't want you to be still and know him. Now, if you got up every morning and you were hooping and hollering and, Lord, bless my mama, bless my daddy, I want a house, I want this, he'll let you do that all day long.
Yeah.
Because you're praying to him. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
All right, so go back to, so are you visiting today?
I am visiting, yes.
Oh, what's your name?
Shintaria. I
Oh.
went to the Women's Forum before I left California once, and then I came to the service once.
I knew you looked familiar to
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I absolutely love you, Jesse. I do. When I found you, it was game over.
Well, stay with it.
Yeah.
Stay with it, all right?
Yeah.
Just stay with it. Go back to the prayer. Don't let the devil talk you out of it.
Yeah.
Go back to it and you'll be home, just like that.
Okay.
The greatest sin that a person can commit is to forget. To forget to stay present. When you forget to stay present and you're lost in your head, you're committing a sin because you're worshiping the devil. Amazing. Well, I'm glad to see you.
Glad to see you too. I have one question.
Yes.
I'm actually a therapist, and I know what you say about
You're a therapist?
therapists. I am.
Oh, Lord.
I know.
The therapists need help. No.
We do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
I find myself, after I found you, and it's been about 2 or 3 years, I find myself going in that I guess in that mindset that you speak of.
Yeah.
And people absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
They hate it. And I'm like, I don't know where to find the balance in that. Because I want to help,
Right.
and I don't want to lie, and tell people what other people are saying.
Yeah.
All of it's junk, So I don't know. It's interesting.
And your question for me is what?
How do I balance the truth?
By doing the silent prayer and staying present, and the Spirit of the Father will speak through you to the right person.
Yeah.
It will be that person that wants it. And then the Spirit of the Father would not allow you to speak the truth to someone that does not want it. I promise you it will happen naturally.
Okay.
Just like the devil speaks through you, as he disappears, the Father will speak to you, the Spirit of the Father. So it'll balance itself out. Because most people don't want to hear the truth. They love the hell. They want to come to you so you can tell them how right they are about living in hell.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to see that with your own eyes. It will be revealed to you, though.
Yeah.
I can tell when people don't want to hear the truth, and I'm okay with it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear it. And that's why God let them stay in hell in their misery, because they really don't want it. They love their hell.
Yeah.
So do the silent prayer so you can see, and you will see who to help and not.
Makes sense.
That makes sense?
A lot.
Yeah, because you can't know in advance. You can only know in the present.
True.
And you will be able to see it.
Very true.
So go back to the silent prayer.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Jesse.
Amazing. Any other questions? Nice.
No.